I saw this photo of a charming Italian street scene, which inspired me to make a little vignette of it. Nice detail on the FC Model Trend 1:72 scale 3D printed model of the Vespa Primavera 125. There's nothing to assemble or glue. The bike is a single piece, so you just need to concentrate on painting. All it needs is a little cleaning, which I did using the AK fiberglass sanding pencil. The scooter will be placed on a vignette on a small Italian road. To fix it, I drilled out the rear wheel and glued a wire into it. I used a drill and a milling cutter to hollow out the lamp hole. Then I painted the bike with white Mr. Surfacer. After priming, I gently smoothed it again to get the smoothest possible finish on the glossy top coat. First, the scooter was given a coat of yellow paint. Sprayed over this, the red becomes slightly brighter and fuller, as if I'd painted it on top of the white primer. Once I got the yellow paint out, I used it to paint the Lambretta in the kit. I will use this for another vignette. I sprayed Mr. Hobby acrylic red on the yellow base, then a coat of gloss varnish. The wheels were painted with extreme metal aluminium paint, the other metallic elements with Model Master Chrome Silver. The model is easy and simple to paint. If you like the way I work, you can visit the modelbuilder.art website and go to the contact menu. Tell me what kind of model you want, and I will be happy to build it for you. The Vespa design was entrusted to the engineer General Corradino D'Ascanio, who designed the first production helicopter for the Agusta. D'Ascanio, however, hated the motorbikes because he thought they were uncomfortable, ugly, and would get mud and dust on the rider's feet, and oil on clothing. He therefore came up with the solution of putting the scooter's engine in the back and covering it. For the front wheel, Piaggio's factory used an air lever solution instead of a conventional telescopic fork, as used for the landing gear of aircraft. To paint the tires, I used Mr. Hobby H77 paint and black oil paint. I painted the place of the lamp with chrome paint and filled it with transparent UV gel. Once dry, it imitated the lampshade quite well. I used first Mr. Hobby acrylic and then oil paint to paint the leather seat brown. Painting the little scooter, which embodies the Italian joie de vivre, took just a few hours. Next came the Italian street detail. The scooter will be parked in front of an old Italian house. First, I made the wooden door of the house out of styrene. I imitated the grain of the planks on the plastic sheet with a wire brush. The walls of the building will be made of XPS. I cut the door opening out of it, then used a scoop of aluminium foil to create the texture of the wall. Once this was done, I cut and glued the door frame from styrofoam. In reality, it's a smooth surface stone, so I'm not going to press any texture into it. I'm just going to try to give it a stone-like paint. Plates are fixed to the bottom of the wooden door. I made these from aluminium foil. The door handles are made of pieces of stretched sprue. I primed the XPS house wall with Mr. Surfacer, then painted it gray with acrylic paint. After drying, I applied dark gray and brown stains with a sponge. Where I got too much acrylic paint, I used a thinner sponge to smooth it out a bit. Using a coarse-tipped sanding sponge, I gently scrubbed a few times to imitate the texture of the wall. I then applied different colored patches of oil paint. After it dried, I wiped a good part of it back off. I then sprayed it with a matte varnish, and then painted more oil paint stains on the wall. The door was first sprayed with H315 and then given a layer of chipping fluid. After this had dried for 20 minutes, I painted it with 2 shades of bluish turquoise. I activated the chipping fluid with water and scraped some paint off with a scratching needle. The reference photo shows that the wear on the door is mainly longitudinal, parallel to the boards. At one time, this door may have been light blue. I have used a brush to apply the emerging traces of the earlier painting. Finally, I imitated the aging of the door with a brownish coat of oil paint. The dilute oil paint runs nicely into the pattern created with the wire brush and highlights it well. Many streets in Italy are still paved with cobblestones. There are probably better ways than the one I chose to make it in 1:72 scale. A friend of mine says that the best way to achieve the most realistic result is to put the cobblestones down one by one. I took his advice and glued about 600 small styrofoam cubes to the base. It's a very long and boring process, and part of my soul has died from it. Plus, all the glue was making the base warp, so I tried to press it straight again before I started grouting. I filled the spaces between the cobblestones with Tamiya putty diluted with leveling thinner. It loses a lot of volume as the thinner evaporates, so it's fine to apply it thickly. After drying, I wipe the excess off the surface of the stones. I applied a coat of Mr. Finishing Surfacer, then immediately sanded it down with a coarser sponge. This made some stones come off with more primer, others with less. This breaks up the uniform finish. The bluish-gray paint was applied in a thin layer so as not to cover the varied pattern. After the surface had dried, I coated it with a thick layer of bluish-gray oil paint, most of which I also wiped off later. This gave it the final, slightly shiny appearance typical of cobblestones. The original photo shows a green plant next to the door. I have placed 2 pre-painted Edgewater sunflowers in a brass bucket from Brangen's kit. I made the base of the model from a piece of polished wood, which I covered with lacquer and varnish. I smoothed the joints with wood filler, and then sprayed the top and bottom of the base black. Finally, the small Italian road vignette was put together. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like the way I work, you can visit the modelbuilder.art website and go to the contact menu. Tell me what kind of model you want, and I will be happy to build it for you.